Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The ultimate SDGs 2026 will begin shortly. We kindly request all the attendees to remain seated in their designated seats and help ensure the event proceeds smoothly. Thank you.
Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, may peace be upon us. Good morning, everyone. It is our great pleasure to warmly welcome all distinguished guests, respected speaker, honorable lecturers, and all of the participants of the Ultimate SDGs 2026. Held at Kertasaba Convention Hall, Faculty of Law, Udayana University. My name is Luis.
And I am Putri. It's really an honor to serve as your Master of Ceremony for today's event. So, hello everyone. Good morning. I'm happy to say welcome to Bali in Udayana University in Faculty of Law. It's such a pleasure to see all of you are fill this room with enthusiastic face. And how is everyone doing today? Is it good?
Well, again, I hope you're all doing great. Anyways, come on, don't be shy. Let me hear you once again. Let's make some noise. Amazing. We can already feel the energy spread across in this room.
So now, we're curious, how's everyone's journey to come to this venue in this morning? Because we knew that Bali traffic is kind of unpredictable. So is it smooth, or is anyone getting caught in traffic?
Well, hopefully everyone made here safely despite this morning rush. Anyways, the important thing is that we're all here now, ready to connect, learn, and grow together.
So now, we would like to know all of your participants to do the attendees check.
Well, I heard that there are so many participants from Udayana University. So if you come from Udayana University, let's make some noise.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Amazing. And I also heard that there's a lot of participants came from Hasanuddin University. Let's make some noise. Woo!
Thank you so much. So there's also other university from Surabaya District Court, University Sains Islam Malaysia, Mandara School of Law and Public Policy, Asian International Arbitration Center Kuala Lumpur, Walailak University, Prince of Songkala University, University of Gajah Mada, and University of Indonesia.
Well, it is wonderful to see participants from different universities gathering here with the same passion for creating a better future through the Sustainable Development Goals. And seems like everyone's ready. Without further ado, let's just get started with this event, Ultimate SDGs 2026.
Before we begin, may I kindly request everyone to set their mobile phone to silent mode and remain seated throughout the opening ceremony. First and foremost, let us extend our greatest welcome to the Vice Dean 1 of the Faculty of Law, Udayana University, Dr. Igusti Agung Masraja Jayantiari SHMKN,
the Chairperson of the Student Representative Council of the Faculty of Law, Udayana University, or the representative,
the Student Executive Board of the Faculty of Law, Udayana University, or representative
of all semi-autonomous bodies within the Faculty of Law, Udayana University,
the Project Officer of Ultimate SDGs, Professor Igusti Ngurah Parikesit Widya Teja, SHM Hum LLM PhD,
and all members of the Ultimate SDGs Organizing Committee. A warm welcome to all distinguished guests and participants. We are truly honored by your presence today.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, allow me to present today's agenda. The agenda for today will proceed as follows. opening ceremony, cultural performance Tari Sekar Jagat, national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, prayer, report by the project officer of Ultimate SDGs 2026, remark by the Vice Dean 1 of the Faculty of Law, Udayana University, followed by the official opening of Ultimate SDGs 2026, talk show session, lunch break, parallel presentation session, coffee break, review session, include reflection and closing panel, and closing of day 1. Without any further ado, let us commence the opening ceremony of
Ultimate SDGs 2026. To commence today's event, we are honored to present the traditional Balinese dance, Tari Sekar Jagat. Please enjoy the performance.
what a beautiful performance. Let's give another round of applause to our wonderful dancer for presenting the Sekar Jagat dance.
Indeed, that was truly mesmerizing. The graceful movement, vibrant costumes, and beautiful music gave us such a welcome to Bali.
To all distinguished guests, may I kindly invite everyone to remain standing because our next agenda is singing of the Indonesian National Anthem Indonesia Raya. I invite the designated official to proceed. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we will continue with the prayer. I kindly invite everyone to pray according to your respective beliefs for the success and smooth running of today's event. Let us pray. The prayer has concluded. Ladies and gentlemen, you may now take your seats.
The next agenda is a report from the project officer of the Ultimate SDGs 2026. To deliver the committee report, we respectfully invite Professor Igusti Ngurah Parikesit Widya Teja, SH, M.Hum, LM, PhD. The floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu. Salam sejahtera, salam, namo buddhaya, salam kebajikan. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Law, Udayana University, which is represented by the Vice Dean of Academic Affairs, esteemed keynote speakers, moderators, distinguished guests, respected professors, scholars, policymakers, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is definitely my honor and privilege on behalf of the organizing committee to warmly welcome all of you to Ultimate SDGs 2026, Udayana, Law and Tourism Impact for the SDGs, International Conference and Call for Paper on Law, Tourism and Sustainable Development. First and foremost, allow me to express our sincere gratitude to everyone who has joined us today. Your presence reflects not only your commitment to academic excellence, but also your shared dedication to advancing sustainable development through legal scholarship, international collaboration, and responsible tourism governance. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks as important milestone for the Faculty of Law Udayana University. This conference was established for one clear purpose: how we can provide international platform where scholar, practitioner, policymaker, student can exchange ideas and develop practical legal solutions that contribute to the achievement of sustainable development goals. We believe tourism is far more than economic activity. Tourism has the power to improve livelihood, preserve cultural heritage, strengthen international cooperation, and create opportunities for inclusive development. That's why she is here. At the same time, tourism also presents complex legal challenges related to environmental protection, labor rights, technological transformation, community participation, consumer protection, and responsible governance. This challenge cannot be addressed by a single institution or even single country. They require dialogue, collaboration, and innovative legal thinking. And this is the reason why we are gathered today. Distinguished participants, I am pleased to report that the response to Ultimate SDGs 2026, this is the very first international conference, has been highly encouraging. So we received 57 papers, and if one paper consists 2 or 3, then the number could be reached 80 speakers. So we have 57 for the paper and then around 80 for the speakers. And representing 6 countries: Indonesia, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Timor-Leste. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next 2 days, participants will engage in keynote lectures, panel discussion, parallel session that cover 5 important sustainable development goals. SDGs 1 about no poverty, SDGs 4 about quality education, SDGs 8 about decent work and economic growth, SDGs 12 responsible consumption and production, and SDGs 17 about partnership for the goals. Selected papers presented during this conference will be considered for publication in internationally recognized journal. So the first one is Journal of Bali Studies, where our main speaker also in charge for editor-in-chief, Journal of Bali Studies, index for Scopus Q1, and Udayana Journal of Law and Culture, indexed by Scopus Q2, where the moderator also became the editor-in-chief. Distinguished guests, hosting this conference in Bali carries a special meaning. Bali is internationally recognized as one of the world's leading tourism destinations. Yet, beyond its natural beauty and cultural richness, Bali represents an important living laboratory for discussing sustainable tourism. Here, we can directly observe the balance between economic development, cultural preservation, environmental protection, and community participation. I I hope during this experience in conference and during our cultural program, which is city tour, yeah, this conference will provide valuable insight that complement our academic discussion. I wish all of you a successful conference and a pleasant stay in Bali, and I would like to invite the Dean of Faculty of Law Udayana University to officially open this conference. Thank you very much. Om Santi Santi Santi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Matur suksma.
Thank you, Professor Agustus Murah, Parikasi Widya, Teja SH, MHum LM PhD for the committee report. Now we come to one of the most important moments of today's event. It is our great honor to invite the Vice Dean One of the Faculty of Law, Udayana University, Dr. Agustus Agung Masra Jayantiari SH MKM to deliver the opening remarks and officially open Ultimate SDGs 2026. To Professor Dr. Agustus Agung Masra Jayantiari SH MKM, the floor is yours.
Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom nama budaya, salam sejahtera, salam sehat, rahayu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished keynote speakers, honorable guests, respected professor, researcher, government representative, student, and all participants from many countries. It is great pleasure to welcome you to the Ultimate SDGs International Conference 2026, organized by Faculty of Law, Udayana University. First of all, let us thank Almighty God because today we can gather together in good health and good spirit. It is an honor for us to host this international conference and to welcome all of you, all participants from the other universities, institutions, and countries. Ladies and gentlemen, today the world is facing many global challenges like climate change, environmental problems, poverty, social inequality, digital technology, and economic uncertainty affect all countries. These challenges cannot be solved by one country or one institution alone. We need cooperation, good ideas, and strong partnership. That is why the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, are very important. The SDGs give us a common direction to create a better world where economic growth, environmental protection, and social justice can grow together. Over the next session, we will listen to excellent keynote speakers and presenters who will share their research and experiences. They will discuss many important topics related to law, tourism, governance, environmental protection, human rights, business, innovation, and sustainable development. I hope this conference will create new research partnership, joint publication, student exchange, and other forms of international cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Faculty of Law Udayana University, this conference is also part of our commitment to becoming a globally of international cooperation. Our doctor program of law, Faculty of Law Udayana University program, has received the highest international accreditation, Unggul or Excellent, and has also received international accreditation from Germany. This achievement encourages us to continue improving the quality education, research, and community service. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all keynote speakers, invited speakers, presenter, reviewers, committee members, partner institution, and everyone who has worked very hard to organize this conference. Your dedication, cooperation, and support have made this event possible. I also thank you, every participant who has traveled from different cities, different countries to join us today. Your participation makes this conference richer and more meaningful. I hope all of you enjoy not only the academic discussion, but also the beauty and culture of Bali, the Paradise Island. May our stay here bring wonderful memories and new friendship that will continue long after the conference ends. Ladies and gentlemen, with gratitude to Almighty God and with great pleasure, I hereby officially declare the Ultimate SDGs International Conference 2026 officially open. I wish all participants a successful conference, a fruitful discussion, and meaningful collaboration. Thank you very much. Om Santi 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 Om. Matur suksema.
Thank you very much. We kindly invite Dr. Igusti Agung Mas Raja Intiari SHMKM to remain on the stage to officially open the event by striking the ceremonial gong. We would also like to invite the project officer of Ultimate SDGs 2026 together with the committee members assigned to assist with the gong ceremonial and group photo session to kindly come forward. Next is for the group session. I can invite the speaker to remain on the stage. The speaker and the moderator to come on the stage. Thank you. I will coordinate the photo on the count of 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Once again, 3, 2, 1. All right, once again, 1, 2, 3. And 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with the conclusion of the opening remarks, Ultimate SDGs 2026 is now officially declared open. So now to all the speakers, moderator, and the president and the project officers.
We also kindly invite all participants to stand arise because we will also like the photo session to be continuing. For the team committee, please. Oh. Yeah. With all of the participants, please stand and rise. Thank you. I will coordinate the photo on the count of 1, 2, 3. Once again, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. For guests who may have other commitments, you are welcome to leave the venue at this time. We sincerely appreciate your presence and participation in the opening of Ultimate SDGs 2026.
Now, we will proceed to our next agenda, which is a talk show session featuring 4 distinguished invited speakers who will share their expertise, experiences, and perspective on today's event. The session will be moderated by our esteemed moderator, Dr. Imade Budi Arsika, SHLLM, who will guide the discussion and facilitate the interactive Q&A session.
Before inviting our moderator to the stage, allow us to briefly introduce him by reading his CV. Dr. Imade Budi Arsika, SHLM, Head of the Department of International Law, Faculty of Law, Udayana University. Education, Doctor of Law, Udayana University. Master of Law, LLM, Maastricht University, the Netherlands. Bachelor of Law, Brawijaya University. Academic Leadership and Expertise, Head of the Department and Laboratory of International Law, Faculty of Law, Udayana University. Former Head of Quality Assurance and Secretary, Center for International Programs, Udayana University from 2013 until 2019. Member of the University Regulation Drafting Team, Legal Bureau, Udayana University from 2023 until 2025. Research and academic contributions, Editor-in-Chief of the Udayana Journal of Law and Culture, Scopus Q2, and actively engaged in teaching and research focusing on international law, human rights, and tourism law, and many more remarkable achievements that cannot all be mentioned individually. And now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Imade Budi Arsika, SHLM.
Hello, am I audible? So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How have you been? Sulbi, how are you today? Good? Yeah. Miss Vice Dean, the project officer, and also all invited speakers. So, a few minutes ago, the project officers, Professor Parikesit, the initiator of this program, mentions this conference attended by participants and speakers from 6 countries. 5 out of the 6 are the ASEAN members. I try to repeat, Professor Parikesit: Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Timor-Leste. I think we are now still competing on the AFF Football Championship. Anyone watch the match yesterday night? Yesterday evening, right? There is no problem with us. This is just academic, not soccer fighting here, right? And I think I just recognize several of you, of course, the invited speakers from Malaysia and also from our university here. I will introduce them later, but I'd like to engage with other participants. So I know the 2 of you, I guess, please raise your hand. The 2 from Thailand, please raise your hand. Hello. Sawadika. you. And then from Timor-Leste, I guess the two of you, right? Yeah. Wow. I'd like to inform you just yesterday, here also, one of our colleagues, my colleagues in particular, he just defended his PhD program at Udayana University, and he's from Timor-Leste. So thank you very much. And then anyone from Malaysia, please, Pak? Ya. Kita saudara serumpun. Ada masalah beres di kedai kopi tarik, teh tarik, oke? Okay? Semua aman. From Singapore already, maybe later in Australia, Bu Maria, maybe. Belum ya, Prof ya? Because there will be presenter sessions, the Malaysians and Singaporean participant will be attend later. We have also from Borneo. I saw it from Borneo. Oh, just leave. Just a few minutes ago, I saw him, the former dean of the Mula Warman Law School, just attended, and also from Hasanuddin outside of Bali. And we have also fellow colleagues from Bali, also from the north of Bali, Professor, this is the newly appointed Professor, Prof Yunartini, and also Prof Mangku, so welcome. Anyone, I was assigned to moderate this session a little bit, let's say, in this session, like a little bit talk show by the project officer. We want to engage more because also the Vice Dean mentioned this is academic program. We would like to engage. We would like to develop networking also. And anyone knows the ultimate SDGs, we focuses on the issue of law and tourism impact. Just to inform you, because not all of you from Udayana University, our visions is excellence, self-reliance, and culture. And tourism is part of the cultural tourism. I just quote, there are several negative impact of tourism, despite of the positive impact, of course, just mentioned by the project officers, that need to be highlighted and needs the contributions by the academics. So everyone, in these sessions there will be 4 invited speakers, and I would like to mention the first speaker is Dr. Ide Bagus Rai Dharma Wijaya Mantra SAMSE. Yeah, I just informed by the committee he could not attend the conference today. Yeah, however, the video is prepared, so it is mandatory to me to mention his curriculum vitae. So Dr. Rai Dharma Wijaya Mantra is the current senator of the Regional Representative Council at the Republic of Indonesia. He was the mayor of Denpasar, yeah, quite legend, I think, as a mayor of Denpasar city. And then he's currently our chairman of Udayana University Alumni Associations. He obtained his bachelor degree. Yeah, he obtained his bachelor degree and doctor of degree at the Faculty of Economics here at Udayana University, and then Master of Religious and Cultural Studies at UNHI, Universitas Hindu Indonesia. And then he also participates in the program organized at the Harvard Kennedy School at Boston in 2011. Served as mayor of Denpasar for almost 2.5 consecutive terms, 2008 until 2021. And then also Vice Mayor of Denpasar, he also becoming the entrepreneur and was awarded for the Mayor Entrepreneur Award and Entrepreneur Award by Mark Plus. And the committee, are you ready to present the video? Sudah ready? Yeah. Okay, please the video. So anyone, we will watch the speech by the Dr. Ida Bagus Rai Dharma Wijaya Mantro. So please give big applause.
diukur dalam Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom. Alhamdulillah. Rahayu, rahayu, rahayu. Yang saya hormati saudara dekan Fakultas Hukum Universitas Udayana dan juga para narasumber yang berkesempatan pada hari ini untuk ikut berpartisipasi dalam seminar internasional kali ini. Hadirin sekalian, dalam beberapa dekade, keberhasilan pembangunan pariwisata hampir selalu diukur melalui indikator ekonomi seperti jumlah kunjungan wisatawan, nilai investasi yang masuk, kontribusi terhadap PDRB, maupun pertumbuhan ekonomi daerah. Indikator-indikator tersebut penting, tetapi pertanyaan mendasarnya, apakah pertumbuhan ekonomi yang tinggi selalu sejalan dengan kualitas hidup masyarakat? Oleh karena itu, pada kesempatan yang baik ini, kami mencoba untuk mengajak para hadirin sekalian untuk memahami pembangunan pariwisata yang inklusif dari perspektif yang mungkin lebih luas, dan juga perlu kita sadari bersama bahwa pembangunan pariwisata bukan hanya tentang pertumbuhan ekonomi yang tinggi, tetapi bagaimana menjaga keseimbangan dimensi-dimensi yang ada, yaitu masalah sosial, budaya, dan juga tentunya lingkungan. Melalui paparan ini, kami ingin menunjukkan bagaimana hukum dan sumber daya dan juga kapasitas pengelolaan menjadi fondasi dalam pembangunan pariwisata yang inklusif. Secara makro, kinerja ekonomi Bali menunjukkan capaian yang cukup positif yang patut juga diapresiasi. Jadi pertumbuhan ekonomi Bali pada triwulan pertama 2026 itu tercatat mencapai lebih dari 5% atau 5,8. Nilai PDRB juga terus meningkat. Inflasi relatif terkendali, tingkat kemiskinan tergolong rendah, dan kualitas pembangunan manusia mencakup indeks kebahagiaan, indeks pemajuan kebudayaan, dan indeks pembangunan manusia yang tergolong tinggi. Namun demikian, pertumbuhan ekonomi tidak boleh berhenti pada pencapaian
Without further ado, allow me to invite Professor Madya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And a very good morning, selamat pagi. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, Pak Budi. It is a great honor to serve as a panel of speaker for the ultimate SDG 2026 Udayana Law and Tourism Impact Forum. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Dean, Vice Dean Ibu Gungmas, and the organizing committee of Ultimate SDG 2026 Fakultas Hukum Universitas Udayana, Bali, Indonesia, especially Professor Agustus Ngurah-Parikesit, or I used to call him Prof. Dr. Sigit, and colleague and panel of respected speakers for their dedication in bringing together academics, practitioners, policymakers, and students to discuss the vital role of law and tourism in advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. This forum provides an important platform for exchanging ideas, fostering collaboration, and exploring innovative approaches to sustainable development that promote social inclusion, environmental stewardship, cultural preservation, and economic resilience for the benefit and present and future. Congratulations to the organizing committee led by Prof. Sigit, attended by 6 countries. Through my presentation, I hope to contribute to the achievement of SDG 1, no poverty, and SDG 17, partnership for the goals, by promoting knowledge sharing, collaboration, and sustainable solution. Okay, my topic is smart tourism. And sustainable tourism. I'm talking about biosecurity laws that govern tourism. Okay, so I'm looking at the Indonesian and Malaysian and ASEAN perspective on tourism and biosecurity law. So those are our SDG goals. Next slide, please. So this is me. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is where I'm from. Faculty of Sharia and Law, University of Science Islam Malaysia. It's the university that is the closest to the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. That is like 30 or 40 minutes away from the airport. So if you come to Malaysia, and please come and visit our university. Next. So this is the outline of my presentation today. And well, maybe you are thinking, what does it mean by biosecurity? Biosecurity, or maybe the words biosafety. What does it mean? So by the word is biosecurity has quite a number of definitions. Okay, scientists define it differently. Lawyers define it differently as well. The term biosecurity, according to international law, is governed mainly by biological weapon, meaning it's about biological weapon. The term biosafety is the law that governs LMO, living modified organism. But in terms of practice, biosecurity simply means that the safety of human, animal, and plants, and food, whatever related to biological things in this world. So when we're talking about biosecurity in tourism, I give you a simple example. you arrive at an airport, okay? At an airport, so you will see biosecurity measures. So meaning you need to make health declaration, okay? Are you sick? Are you having flu or cough? Or do you have any plans bringing to this country? Or do you have any food that contains some meats or whatever? So most countries control this thing. Okay, you come to the country whether for leisure purpose or for whatever purpose, biosecurity maybe is a not good story about tourism, but those are measures that are important to contain people, animal, plants, food, for instance. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is smart tourism? Okay, when we are talking about tourism in ASEAN, especially in Malaysia, Indonesia, it is not a small thing. Okay, for Malaysia, it's 10 million, we have like 10 million visitors for the house 2026. For Indonesia, 3.44 million if I'm not mistaken, and for Bali itself, you have like 500,000 visitors for the half of 2026. So it means that tourism plays a very important role in promoting our country and also in our economy. So in order to sustain this tourism, what should we do? Okay, so the ASEAN countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, and other ASEAN countries should take all the measures necessary to sustain tourism, to generate our economy, but at the same time, the biosecurity of our people, of the plants, must be, it should be reasonably safe. It should be biosecure. Okay, next slide, please. So this is basically what I told you about the position of ASEAN in tourism. Next. Okay, what does it mean by smart tourism? Okay, smart tourism consists of technology, innovation, sustainability, accessibility, inclusivity. So basically these are among things that we are practicing now. Indonesia has all Indonesia apps, or Malaysia has our own apps to regulate about visa, arrival card, BEA, Cukai, and all that. Okay, so these are measures to monitor people, okay, the movement of people, things, and that is a common practice. With technology, we are making this movement of people easier. Okay, next slide, please. So, what does it mean by sustainable tourism? Like has been mentioned by our keynote speaker just now, it's about economy, it's about ecological and other important elements of tourism that should be sustained. Next. Okay, so when I'm talking about biosecurity, the closest example is COVID-19. Look what happened in 2019, 2020. There was no tourism in Bali. I'm not sure, maybe not as much as before, in Malaysia and in other countries as well. So we see slowly, because of the pandemic, because of the pathogens or diseases, it hampered our economy, okay, just because of that virus. So it shows that biosecurity is not a small thing, because it affects our tourism, so it made us could not generate our economy, and we lost like billions of money during COVID because we could not do tourism during those times. Okay, next slide, please. So, what can we do? What can Malaysia do? What can ASEAN do in order for us to sustain our tourism, even in time of pandemic? What if there is no things like, maybe previously we had COVID, but actually previously not just COVID, we had H1N1. SARS, even meningitis. Those who went to Saudi to do Hajj or Umrah during those periods, we can see that we need to take vaccination when there are so many people. So biosecurity is not a very small issue, it's a very big thing. Okay, and it will affect a lot of things, and we must have awareness. One thing is awareness, and another thing is for the government to do whatever that is necessary. Okay, next slide. Okay, tourism as biosecurity and public health as risk multiplier, meaning tourism is a very important economic income for our country, but at the same time, it is also a public health risk multiplier. Let's say maybe I'm not sure how many people are in Bali because of tourism. We have like more than that. We have now you have like 500,000 visitors up to half a year this year. So we see a lot of things can happen. There could be spread of diseases, spread of whatever, contamination to our environment. So tourism is good, but at the same time, biosecurity measures must be taken into account. Next slide, please. Okay, so this what the tourism facilitates. It facilitates people, mobility, trade, food, and technology, but it will be at the expense of a lot of things. Next slide, please. Okay, ASEAN challenge. Okay, it is not a problem for Malaysia, Indonesia, but it is also a problem for ASEAN. And we could not do it alone. Malaysia could not do it alone. Thailand could not do it alone. Indonesia. Okay, so we must do it together. Okay, a lot of countries we need to cooperate. When we want to expand our tourism, among things that we need to take into account are biosecurity issues. Next slide. Okay, and to facilitate tourism, we have digitalization, AI, and the emergence of cyber biosecurity risks. When I'm talking about cyber biosecurity risks, I give you a simple example. Now in many countries, we have medical tourism, where you go to a country, you took any medical treatment in that country, usually at a private hospital. You have your data stored in the computer at that hospital. But some hackers, they are doing ransomware, meaning they are taking your data from the hospital and they can sell your data to outsiders, or they can ask for ransom, 1 million, 2 million for your data. So these are among risks that we need to think in the future. Digitalization is good, but when incidents like this are happening, so a lot of things need to be done. I was working on the cyber security project with the Malaysian police. Okay, from this grant, we found out that quite a number of Malaysians are being scammed. And scam is not a little issue, it's a very big issue. It costs like 1 billion, nearly $1 billion US every year. You see, it costs a lot of loss to the country, not just to the people, income. And they also make a family broke. For instance, if the family involved with a love scam, okay, it might be for fun, but you know, it can lead to broken marriage. Next slide, please. Okay, this is cyber biosecurity examples that could happen to your medical data, to medical tourism, for instance. Next. The cyber biosecurity that I'm talking about is the intermingle between cybersecurity, biosecurity, and cyber physical security. Meaning your medical data could be hacked and people will ask you ransom against you. And it usually is not against individual unless if you are very rich, but it's usually against the government. Next slide, please. I got time reminder. So, from COVID-19, we could learn that tourism, public health, and resilience are very important. Okay, next slide, please. So, Malaysia, Indonesia, we have a lot of laws to regulate biosafety, biosecurity, okay, cyber security. Next slide. Okay, we have institutional ecosystem. Next slide. Okay, and you have your own laws. You can do it quickly because I'm running out of time. Indonesia context. Next slide, please. And Indonesia has a lot of laws that regulate biosafety, biosecurity, and cyber security. These are among laws that relate to tourism. Next slide. Okay, the key issue for Indonesia is a big country. It's difficult to regulate some regional areas, island areas, and I think the same goes for Malaysia. Next slide, please. And these are the comparison between Malaysia and Indonesia. We try to regulate this area when we're talking about tourism on biosafety, biosecurity, cyber security, but it poses challenges to us as countries. Next. Okay, and ASEAN. Okay, ASEAN, we prioritize a lot of things in tourism. But we cannot do it, like I said, we cannot do it alone. We need to work as a region. Next slide, please. Okay, and we have a lot of ASEAN mechanism to regulate biosecurity, whether it relates to tourism or not. We have many ministerial affairs that try to help ASEAN to make our tourism grow. Next slide. And at the international level, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and other ASEAN countries, we are maybe members to this international legal framework on biosafety, biosecurity, and cybersecurity, and even AI now. Next slide. I just list down all the relevant laws. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, and we have our ASEAN regional context that deal with tourism and those specific areas of biosecurity. Next slide. Okay, but the problem is our legal governance gap, because there are many areas involved, meaning there are many ministries involved. Next slide. Okay, and these ministries, they are usually working in silos. Okay, the biosecurity, they might not talk to the cybersecurity ministry, they might not talk to the tourism ministry, they are working in silos. During COVID-19, I think those issues emerge. Okay, next. Okay, now we have digital AI and we have digital surveillance. It's good, but it affects our human rights, it affects our privacy. That is the problem with this digitalization. Next. Okay, I will mention in the end. Next slide, please. Towards a smart biosecurity. So basically, what we need to do to have at ASEAN region is to have a whatever that we want to achieve at the ASEAN region in terms of biosecurity. Technically, we need to work as a region, not as an individual country. Next slide, please. Okay, we need to have a new model. I give you a simple example. Let's say we have an ASEAN protocol on biosecurity, and these biosecurity protocols are being used and adhered to all these 10 ASEAN or plus one, inclusive of Timor. So if you travel from Malaysia to Indonesia, so we can freely travel even in time of pandemic, provided all the 11 ASEAN countries adhere to this biosecurity protocol, meaning we trust each other and our tourism could grow even in times of pandemic. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, like I mentioned just now, We need to have a good standardized protocol that is trusted by each and every ASEAN countries, but other countries like Japan and United States, they're very interested in our public health data. Meaning they wanted to establish a center for data, okay, and they like to accept our data, okay, for good cause, yeah, but we need to be aware, what is the public health data for? What are they going to use it for? Well, it's good for monitoring, but it could be a backfire on us. They would target the ASEAN region as the most sensitive area. They will say we are underdeveloped, blah, 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 but at the same time, we would like to protect our region. So, what I would say is that biosecurity is not just one country model, but an ASEAN model of biosecurity that is trusted and practiced by all these ASEAN countries should be suggested in the future. Next slide. I think I'm coming to the end of my presentation. Next slide. Okay, next. Thank you. Terima kasih. Sorry for the time. Assalamualaikum.
Shall I call you Professor Zuhaida? So, Professor Zuhaida, Professor Nur Zuhaida, thank you very much for the very interesting presentations. You have remind us about the COVID-19 experience, about the tourism bring the risk, because maybe perhaps share the virus. You mentioned about the issue of biosecurity and public health, and then the risk of cyber security, in particular biosecurity. I think there will be several questions from the participants later. Thank you very much. So everyone, please give big applause to Professor Dr. Nur Zuhaida binti Osman. Next, I would like to continue the session. I would like to invite the second invited speaker, Professor Dr. Ida Bagus Wiasa Putra SHM Hum. Allow me to read his curriculum vitae. So, Professor Ida Bagus Wiasa Putra is Professor of International Economic Law at the Faculty of Law, Udayana University. He obtained Bachelor of Law here at Udayana University and continue Master of Law at Pajajaran University and Doctor of Law at Brawijaya University. He certified in intellectual property rights management in Japan and international development law in the Netherlands. His international academic experience, among others, becoming the professorial fellow at the CDU, the Charles Darwin University, Australia, since 2012, visiting lecturer at the University of Technology, Sydney, Australia, University of San Francisco, USA, and Thames Singapore Education in Singapore. He was awarded and recognized for several occupations, for example, becoming the Vice Chancellor's Award for Outstanding Contribution for Student Learning at the CDU, and then the recipients of PhD scholarship in International Economic Law awarded by the Ministry of Justice of the Netherlands, and then also recipients of Ministerial Award at the Ministry of Administrative and Bureaucratic Reform. So he was contributed at the Ministry of Administrative and Bureaucratic Reform for several years, and a few years ago he was our vice rector for planning, cooperations and information affairs at Udayana University. So please, we would like to welcome Professor Dr. Ide Bagus Wiaseputra. Give big applause.
Terima kasih Pak Moderator. Honorable attendants, all of you, I'm going to discuss with you some several issues on sustainable development goals, starting from the development of the idea until the result of the works of the idea, in order to make us understand why we have not seen the result of this great idea for so long, has been developed, has been applied, but we have not seen the result until today. Yeah, it has been determined that 2030 is the ultimate period where this idea should be accomplished. We should, by 2030, we have to see zero hunger, zero poverty, and everything. But if we account from 2026, we are now in 2026, could we achieve this in 4 years? Action. I don't think so. So, okay, sorry, I have to turn this a bit. I cannot turn my eyes here, so I'm going to turn this. So, okay, okay, please start from the first slide. No, second one. Next slide, please. Okay. Hello. Next slide. Why can okay, okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first stages of the development of Sustainable Development Goals. It has not starting just now. It has not started just now. It has started a long time ago. 1954, starting from the case of Minamata. In Minamata Lake in Japan, there was a seriously pollution against the lakes, and this causing huge damage, huge impacts to human living surrounding the lake. And starting at the time, we can trace that in the first stage, it has been calculated that human activities in whatever small of scale, it causing a seriously impact or damage to its environment. These human activities has been tried to sort it through development. So at the second stage, in the first stage, the cause of the impact of the problem of environment has been caused by human activities. At the second stage, this has been caused by development. Development has been set in 1945, has been, as we experience a horrible human livings caused by World War I, World War II, causing a detrimental or serious impact to human living. So we try to short the problems. By 1945, we set development as a choice to recover the impact of the World War I, World War II. We would like to recover, to take the peaceful back, peaceful living back, and we try to take the standard of living into, to take human beings into a better standard of living. But what we have done, development has not really caused in what we do expect. Development has caused in a serious damage of the environment. And again, at the third stage, we try to bring a new concept on sustainable development. And again, we see the situation like showing us that the development would not bring us into a prime position of human living. They still bring bad impact to the environment. The developments bring bad impact to the environment, and we do still expecting that we can recover it. How to cure it, how to recover the impact of the development. At the fourth stage, rising up a new idea on global action. It is the SDGs itself. Okay, we know that any state, any individual, any institution cannot do anything by themselves to recover the situation. So they try to attract the whole stakeholders into one action that they would call it Sustainable Development Goals Achievement or Sustainable Development Goal Targets. So they expecting the United Nations try to integrate the whole power, the whole stakeholders components into one groups of action, a big action, and expecting to change the behavior of development, to prevent the impact of development, and to recover the impact of the development. So what we've seen over there is that since the beginning, the United Nations has tried to attract the awareness of human beings, of governments, of politicians, of every stakeholders to a bit put a care to the environment. Environment is a place where you live. If this got problems, you will also got problems. So if you would like to ease the problem, you have to ease the impact of your activities. So this way of thinking has been brought into the big idea of Sustainable Development Goals. Next, please.
Yes, thank you.
I think this is, it is very important to understand what lies behind the Sustainable Development Goals idea. By philosophy, there is a values of intervention of capitalism into the idea of development. Development has been started in 1945. The idea of development has been started for recovering the impact of World War I, World War II, and then the United Nations tried to use this way to recover the situation. But there is no development without capital. Okay, then the capitalists get in, and then they intervened the process, and suddenly lead the process into their standards to make people move from the idea of the pure idea of development into the mixed idea of development plus capitalism. What is capitalism? The idea of expecting return of investment, the idea of expecting accumulation of profit, the idea of enriching self, enriching individuals. It's a self-oriented idea of welfare, not a social idea of welfare. So very much focus on the works of how to get more money, to accumulate capital, to accumulate profit of the activity. Okay, then development also is not working alone, solely working only the development, but there's mixed with trade activities, there's mix of any economic activities, including tourism inside, and then the concept of development also influencing the idea of trade, and the idea of trade and tourism also influencing the idea of development. This is kind of two ways of connection between the whole idea, integrated and mixing each other and causing the serious problem to ecosystem. Okay, development maybe development is successful on developing growth, economic growth, but their failure on developing ecosystem. And SDGs is the final transformation of capitalism. Capitalism itself transformed into philanthrocapitalism. Philanthrocapitalism then transformed itself into many standards of activities, many mechanistic standard of activities. One of it is the Sustainable Development Goals. Next, please. Okay, you might heard SDGs at the beginning, and then MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, and then transform into Sustainable Development Goals. I provide you a comparison between these two kind of idea. Next, please. I also bring you some idea with this very famous theoretical basis when we discuss about sustainable development, what is proper theory to be employed, to be used as the basis of the discussion, as the basis of the analysis. So this is the Kate Brownway's theory. We know it. I do expect that you will familiar with this theory. Next, please. So the problem of Sustainable Development Goals, the problem of Sustainable Development Goals is this program, this idea is not depend on regulation or comment. It's not depend on the government comment. It's depend on and relies on voluntarily based action, voluntarily based program. So it is we cannot wait anybody to bring this SDGs into reality. SDGs is started from the inner spirit of every institution, of every individuals, of every government. If the government has no sense of social beings, there might no realization of SDGs. We talk about SDGs, but the poor is still there, but the problem of hunger is still there. Any problem of SDGs is still there. Problem of below waters living, on land living, so everything still be there. So it is because why? Because SDGs is not relying on the spirit of command, the spirit of regulation, but it relies on the spirit of voluntarily initiative, voluntarily action. So what is the most important of this scheme is the supervision, is the measuring the achievement of the target of his SDGs day by day, time by time. If no one responsible for measuring the achievement of the works of SDGs, there might be no result of the DGS program. So we discuss about a big idea, but there would be no result. You can check your surrounding here. Okay, next please. This is the legal frameworks in Indonesia. We rely on international legal instrument against with this relying on the idea of initiative and voluntary based program or action. And then the preamble of the Constitution, Article 28 of the Indonesian Constitution is relating to the rights, fundamental rights of human beings to health, environment. And then the President Regulation number 111/2022 is the only regulation directly governing the SDGs in Indonesia, including the goals target by 2030. Next, please. Okay, go further. This is the goal related to all 70 goals, and how we supposed to measure the achievement? Do we have the regulation? Do we have the program? How the program works? What is the result? And what level the result? We have to measure it. And let's ask for the Indonesian, the President Regulation order to ask everyone to take position to contribute on the achievement of SDGs. Next, please. Again. Next, again. Okay, no, go back, please. Okay, what is the most important for the SDGs in Bali? Tourism development is focusing on 4 components of development: tourism industries, tourism human resources, destination, etc. But what is missing in the regulation of tourism regulation in Indonesia is the rules for governing the economic resource of tourism. It is the culture. The Balinese culture is the ground of tourism of Bali. It's the ground of the economic scheme of the tourism of Bali. Balinese culture is belong to the inheritance of the traditional community. They own the culture. They maintain the culture. They recover the culture. They develop the culture. They expand themselves. The culture producing tourism, the tourism producing dollars, but the result of this economic benefit of tourism never directly flows to the traditional community. This is the seriously inequalities. This is the seriously inequalities caused by development against the economic resource of the tourism in Bali. So if no one could connect this gap, the capacity of culture as an economic resources might decrease time by time, and if this drop in quality, this will also impacting the sustainability of tourism. So I think this is something to discuss. The serious question, if this also happened in another place, but in Bali, this is a serious question. Now the government of Bali has tried to develop some scheme to connect between tourism and culture, the result of tourism and culture, but still in the first stage or in the beginning. Pak Budi, okay. The problems of SDGs realization is, first, the idea of SDGs itself is lying in the idea of voluntarily based program and action. Any stakeholders cannot wait for the government intervention, for the government support, for the government instruction. And the second things, many kind of SDGs problems is is hiding in many social problems which look like not a problem of SDGs. I've mentioned to you that the serious problem of SDGs of inequality in Balinese tourism is the disconnection between the benefit of tourism to the traditional community. We talk a lot about culture preservation, but when we talk about culture preservation, the question is, what is culture? What should be preserved? When we talk about culture preservation, we talk about the empowering of the human resources of the culture. So I would say that culture preservation or development of culture is the development of the human resource of the culture. That is the Balinese who stay, who maintain the culture in the traditional community in Bali. There are Balinese, but not all Balinese stay in the traditional community. Nowadays, some of them already move out from the traditional community, they live in the city, okay? They have no connection with their origin, or perhaps they develop a community in the city. So we have to be sure, when we're talking about cultural preservation in Bali, and if we talk about empowering of culture, we have to be sure that what we talk is about empowering the human resources of the culture. In Bali, it is the Balinese who stays, who is the member of the traditional community in Bali. So if there is some fund or some program to empower the culture, to maintain the culture, they're supposed to do some program for empowering the Balinese, who is the member of the traditional community, who stays in their traditional village, or stay outside but still the member of the traditional village. Thank you, Pak Budi.
Thank you very much. Please give big applause to Professor Agustus Putra for the very interesting presentation. Wow. Professor Vyasa Putra mentioning the theory of added waste, intergenerational equity, and there is the really punch in terms of academic when he mentions the serious inequality. On the one hand, Balinese culture belong to and maintained by the customary community, so this is traditionally. However, on the other side, Balinese culture as economic resources is not directly benefited the customary community itself. Yeah, this is, we criticize ourselves, should be, as a Balinese, right? And then the next issue, I guess this is very interesting to be discussed during the question and answer about cultural preservation concept. What should be preserved? And then he tried to bring the idea of, is it cultural preservation or development of culture? Because according to him, he advocates it is better to empower the human who is part of the customary community. I think there will be a nice discussion later during the question and answer. So once again, please give big applause to Professor Agustus Putra. So thank you for the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs and Vice Dean for the General Affairs here, and also Pak Nuarte, because you are still here, and we still engage with the other invited speaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite Professor Inyoman Dharmaputra, MLit PhD. Please, next. Professor Inyoman Dharmaputra, MLit PhD. Actually, he's our neighbor because his campus is just next building. Just he is our mentor in terms of journal at Udayana University. We learned a lot from him, the editor-in-chief of the Q1 Scopus of Jurnal Kajian Bali. And then also he is the professor at the Faculty of Humanities. In the past, it's called Faculty of Letters, professor. Former head of master program in tourism studies, and now is the head of doctoral program in cultural studies at Udayana University. So the issue of tourism culture is in his head, all of them. And he studied law for the bachelor of letter here at the Faculty of Letter of Udayana University, and continue for obtain his master at the University of Sydney, and then PhD at the University of Queensland, Australia, becoming author of various research and publications, including the one is the very monumental one, the Literary Mirror, Balinese Reflections of Modernity and Identity in the 20th Century. It is published by KETLV or Brill, so very famous, and also several others publications by the Routledge. So Professor Nyoman Dharma Putra, time is yours, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Made, as a moderator, and also thank you for Professor Sigit as the committee and his team, and also Vice Dean of Faculty of Law, who give me chance to share some of my research interests in this very important conference. And also thank to Associate Professor Nur Usman from Malaysia, and also my colleague Professor Bagus Vyasa, who already talked about sustainable development goals from their own perspective, from implementation of high-tech based biosecurity implemented in regional Asia by Associate Nur Usman, and also general global initiative of SDGs by Professor Vyasa. Now I'm going to talk from the other way around to see what Balinese local wisdom could share in this global effort for sustainable development. I give the title of my presentation, Tri Hita Karana. You will heard it a lot, and you already heard it before from the recorded speech by Dr. Raimantra. Tri Hita Karana means tree, like in English. Hita means happy, and also mean prosperous or well-beings, and Karana mean cause. So Tri Hita Karana simply means three cause of happiness or three cause of well-beings. And I didn't put the word tourism in my presentation because I believe that anything that we talk about Bali is inspirable from tourism, as we heard from Professor Vyasa presentation. So tourism is always everywhere in Bali. Next, please. So this is the scope of my presentation. After introduction, I will discuss a little bit on the shared principle between Tri Hita Karana and Sustainable Development Goals. Could you please, the next slide, please? Yes, thank you. And then why does the THK or Tri Hita Karana matters? And to make the local wisdom, the philosophy become more real and concrete, I take three examples of how the philosophy has been implemented in real situation. So to avoid talking about something far away in the cloud. Next, please. So as I mentioned before, Tri Hita Karana is a Hindu philosophy that emphasizes harmony and balance in three key relationships,
The Pariangan, harmony between people and God. People supposed to be respect, pray to God in order to get God blessing. Second one is Pawongan, means harmony between people. People has to respect each other. And the last one is Palamahan, harmony between humans and the environment. It is coincident that these three Hitakarana start with words with beginning with P. We can also call them triple P, like what it used by John Elkington in three bottom line: people, planet, and prosperity. People, planet, and prosperity. Yeah. The difference is lie in the explicit absence of the spirituality in the triple bottom line, triple P of John L. Kington. While in Balinese concept of sustainability, spirituality, Pariangan is given first priority. Next, please. The interesting thing with the global initiative that has been talked by Professor Vyasa, that this global agenda promote the contribution from the local places like Bali or everywhere in the world. The framework encourages countries and communities to mobilize local knowledge, cultural values, and institutions in achieving development. So, although Trihita Karna and SDG initially something stay apart, but with the more and more discourse on this sustainable development, the concept of Trihita Karana become more relevant when we talk about the SDGs agenda. Next, please. We know that the Sustainable Development Goals have guided global development since 2015, but long before that, the many indigenous society had developed their own sustainability philosophies. There's no doubt about that. And we are lucky in Bali that we have a Trihita Karana. And in this presentation, as I mentioned before, that I would argue that Trihita Karana is not merely a cultural philosophy, but a living sustainability framework that continue to support sustainable development through community institution, cultural practices, and organizational governance. To make it more relevant, I will try to see the correspond element between Trihita Karana and SDGs. The shared principle, although the first one consists of only three elements, the Pariangan, Pawongan, and Palamahan, while SDGs, that we know that they had a 17 integrated agenda. We can see that how Pariangan correspond to ethical and moral foundation, Pawongan people and social well-being, which is also emphasis between several agenda of SDGs. Palamahan correspond to planet environmental sustainability, also emphasis in the 17th agenda of sustainable development goal. Again, so I would like to stress that unlike the SDGs, Trihita Karana explicitly place spirituality at the center of the sustainable development, providing an ethical basis for responsible human behavior. Next, please. Now I will jump into the next, please. Example of next, please. On the how philosophy of Trihita Karana has been implemented since a long time ago, although the terminology itself only recently coined by a Hindu's intellectual, which is in the 1960s. But the essence of the value had been around since a long time ago, at least from 11th century, where Suba was known as an irrigation system implemented by farmer. Suba is perhaps some of you already aware of, has been listed as a World UNESCO Heritage Site. There is an interesting aspect of this one because initially UNESCO only divided two types of world heritage. One is nature, the other one is culture. But when it comes to Bali, they mix both. The formal names of the World Heritage Site in Bali is cultural landscape of Bali province. So cultural is cultural, landscape is natural. In Bali, cultural landscape. And the implementation, the Suba system as the implementation of Trihita Karana. So the word Trihita Karana is already formally accepted in the document of the UNESCO. So it's no longer a local terminology, but also acknowledged internationally in 2012. Suba is irrigation system, but it more because it integrates religious value. Every time you come to a rice field, you most likely not only see a farmer planting rice or harvesting rice, but there could also be a number of ritual happening if you're lucky, because it's a farmer believe that how they should thanks to God for blessing, God giving for fertile lands or enough water for their rice paddy. And also second one, it's community governance, because the member of the irrigation system, member of Suba are farmer, so they have to work together in order to ensure a just division of water. Every farmer of course need water, but if there was no a good local governance, perhaps we will see a lot of fighting among farmers in order to get water for their rice paddy. Also in the implementation of ritual, non-farmer can do it on their own, but they do it collectively. So the community governance is very essential element of the Suba system. And also ecological management. Of course, we can see the rice paddy in Bali and elsewhere not only focus on how farming can get rice from them, but also they maintain the sustainable ecology that give a positive impact to their business. And the last one, of course, very explicit that Suba main point is to produce agriculture production that can relate to the a number of SDGs agenda, especially food security and also no hunger. It also reflects three dimensions of Teaka. Suba contribute directly to SDGs related to food security, water management, resilient community, and ecosystem conservation. Next, please. This is some images of beautiful rice terrace in Jatilue, which become the center among other sites of the cultural landscape of Bali province. The second example, I will be very quick because as the time concerned, is the Nyepi, the Day of Silence, as a implementation or reflection of implementation of Trihita Karana. Nyepi, spirituality producing environmental benefit. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Nyepi, Nyepi is the days of silence where Balinese Hindus celebrate as New Year. So in Bali and elsewhere among Hindu people, New Year are celebrated by silence, doing a silent. Stay at home, didn't go anywhere, didn't do any work, switch off the light and other things. Unlike other people who celebrate New Year with a lot of party and fireworks. But we in Bali, doing something else. Nyepi demonstrate how religious practice can generate measurable environmental outcome. During the 24-hour day of silence, airport closes, transportation stop, business suspend operation, outdoor activity cease. So Bali is like a ghost town, nothing on the street. Compared with Earth Hour, Nyepi represent one of the world's largest community-based environmental action, illustrating how spiritual commitment can support SDGs 12, 13, and 14. This is some image of the global initiative on Earth Hour to let our rest from our people use and exploitation. Earth Hour that often fall on March only give a 4 hours rest for the Earth. But Bali, with the Nyepi celebration, provided 24 hours rest for the. Next, please. This is pictures of street in Kuta, busy of course during the normal day, but during the speed day, Nyepi day is empty. Next, please. Same pictures. And the last one I would like to talk here is how the relationship, the real relationship between Tri Itakarana and tourism sector. We have here Tri Itakarana Tourism Accreditation Award, where local wisdom meets global sustainability standard. Since 2000, the Tri Itakarana Award and Accreditation Program has translated Tri Itakarana into measurable sustainability standard. The program evaluates or accredited hotel, tourism business, educational institution, hospital, and public organization through Pariangan, Pawongan, Palemahan assessment. Unlike many international certification systems, Tri Itakarana accreditation integrate spiritual, social, and environmental performance into one sustainability framework. This program, next please, initially initiated by local media where I used to work, the Bali Travel News, belong to the Bali Post, some academia from Universitas Udayana and NGO. And since then, the program is still continue until now. Next please, exists together with other international accreditation like Green Globe, EarthCheck, or PATA, Pacific Asia Travel Association accreditation. So we're proud of how a philosophical value become very real things in tourism and accreditation award. I just want to give one example. Next, please. Next. How accreditation is assessed or done. Next, please. There are a checklist like a normal accreditation. Next. Yep. For example, Pariangan. In order to give a certain mark, in order to get a certain level of accreditation rank, for example, Pariangan checklist questionnaire. Ideally, the hotel should have a sacred place or temple. So hotel who join this accreditation program will be visited by the assessor, and they check many things. In terms of Pariangan, the hotel will get 1 mark if the hotel has a Padma shrine and rock guardian without boundary wall with an open area. If they have a small one, their mark is low. They will get the highest mark if they consist of shrine, monument, rock guardian, or paradox located in the right position. In terms of Palemahan, they should be able to prove that they do a safe energy, a safe power, and other thing. And in terms of Pawongan people, the hotel, for example, should prove themselves to employ local people. They will get a low mark if they employ more than 3 foreigners. If they employ less than 3, for example 2, or if they employ non-foreigners, they will get a high mark. So those marks then calculated in order to make what rank a hotel or other institution that follow accreditation should come to. I think I should come to the end, to the conclusion. The last one, slide please. Sustainable development is not only about technology, policy and economics, it also requires ethic, culture, community participation and spirituality. So voluntary concept mentioned by Prof. Wyasa is very important. It must come from inner spirit of people, not something from the top down common things. Trihita Karna therefore represents Bali's living contribution to global sustainability, demonstrating how local wisdom can enrich the implementation of sustainable development goals. Thank you very much.
Very interesting presentation, Prof. So, for those who are not Balinese, maybe Trihita Karana philosophy is something that new for you. It's already been explored by Professor Dharma Putra, and I think as a Balinese, I'm so happy to hear that you mentioned Suba. Suba is that for us maybe even for Balinese we thought that Suba is a irrigation system, but he clarified that it is not, because it is more than just irrigation system. There are several aspects including spiritual, social, environmental, and also economic. And it contributes to food security, water management, resilient communities, and ecosystem conservation. So it supports the SDGs. Another one is Nyepi. He mentioned very specific. Nyepi support SDGs principles 12, 13, and 15. For those foreigner, even Professor, Nyepi usually either in March or April, yeah. One day airport is closed, port is closed, no light, no sabat, no smoke, no smoke, no playing, no woman, no cry. Just kidding. So everyone, we already hear the presentations by the four invited speakers. So the first one was the Senator Dr. Ide Bagus Rai Mantra, and then the second one was the Professor Nur, yeah, Professor Nur Zuhaida from Malaysia, and then Professor Ide Bagus Vyasa Putra from Law Faculty, and Professor Nyoman Dharma Putra from Faculty of Humanities. I was informed by the committee, so everyone please look at your right hand. There is the book exhibitions by both Udayana University Press and Pradada. Maybe after these sessions, you may visit the book exhibitions. There are several books written by mostly our academics. Perhaps you're interested in. So please visit the book exhibitions. So everyone, we still have around 25 minutes, yeah, for the question and answer. Wow. Two from this side, okay, yeah, okay. Moment, please. Four. I'm waiting from this side actually. Anyone? Okay. One for you, sir, and then sorry, one for the lady behind. Sorry for two men and lady. Moment first. From this side, from the southern side, anyone? So we have north side, we have south side, and in Milan we have Curva South. So not from this side. Okay, from this wing, nobody. Okay, the three will be you. Okay, please. The committee, please. Anyone maybe could provide a technical assistant for the microphone, please. This one.
Thank you,
Please introduce your
Pak
name
Budi.
and specifically address questions to one of the three speakers, please.
My name is George Matthew. I'm a PhD scholar from Universitas Indonesia and also international trade lawyer. My question goes to Prof. Ida Bagus Wiasa, but before I ask a question, first of all, I'm a big fan of your book, Hukum Perdagangan Internasional. I'm sorry I forgot to bring the book. I'm supposed to have your signature by today if I have bring it from Jakarta. So while you were discussing in the slide concerning tourism promotion and also the importance in involving indigenous people, I somehow think that balancing is necessary between the economic obligation and also the environmental obligation. And since you're also into trade law, which has similarities with investment law, I'd like to know your point of view concerning how the state, in this sense, the central government and Bali government can balance the investment promotion and also the environmental protection, which also include the respect of indigenous people, right? So thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much. So, Pak Matthew, the scholar at the UI and also international trade lawyer, the question was addressed to Professor Wiasa. I will give the chance later for him to respond. The second question, lady, please. Yes.
Thank you.
Please introduce your name and your affiliation.
Hello, thank you. My name is Lisani from Hasanuddin University. Thank you.
Lisani.
Yes, Lisani.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the distinguished speakers. It's all been very delightful sessions. Well, I would like to ask a question for Professor Ida Bagus Wiasa Putra. Thank you very much for the presentation, Prof. So you mentioned earlier about how the local communities in Bali still do not receive equitable benefits from tourism. I'd like to pinpoint on that matter. In your opinion, is this primarily a problem of law? Is it a governance or institutional implementation, or is it perhaps something else? I'd like to hear your perspective on this. And as a follow-up, how do you think delegated authority at the local community or the village level can be strengthened so that the local communities become genuine, we suppose decision makers probably, or rather than simply participants in tourism developments? My background is in tourism development, so that's why I think it's related to that. Thank you very much for the time. Thank you.
Ibu Lisani, so your question is addressed to Professor Wiasa Putra.
Yes.
You asked about, is this the problem of law, governance, or institutional issues? And second issue, you asked about, can local communities becoming, let's say, the decision maker
Correct.
in addressing the issues that presented by Professor Wiasa?
Yes.
Okay, that's very clear.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lisani from Hasanuddin University. So Hasanuddin from South Sulawesi. Hasan, thank you very much for coming to Bali. And one more question, please.
Thank you very much for today, for Professor. Today I'm so excited for the question. My name is Aditya. I'm from Udayana University. I'm student postgraduate Faculty of Law, Udayana University. And I have a question to decide. Yes, of course.
Professor Dharma Putra.
Yeah, Professor. The Professor, you have to explain that Tirta Karana and Professor, that the Tirta Karana is a strategic cultural and resort and the sort of SDG competitive advantage under the resort-based view. At the same time, SDG 8 encourages the adaptation of AI and automation into the whole can legal and public policy frameworks ensure that technological innovation and change rather than replace or order Bali's culture, value, and local windows for you.
Could you please to repeat the main point, the basic
And
questions?
how can legal and public policy frameworks ensure that technology AI innovation and change rather than replace or order for AI?
Oh, okay, this is about AI.
Yeah, yes, of course.
So because perhaps the AI informations
Yes, yes,
provided
yeah,
by
yeah.
Professor Nur. So Professor Nur, there's questions about AI.
Yeah.
Can the law and policy?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Can the law and policy? Please continue.
Yeah,
Please continue.
yeah. How can legal public policy frameworks and
Okay.
ensure that AI innovation and change rather than replace and order SDG 8?
Okay. So can the law and policy frameworks ensure that AI
Yeah.
will either support the SDGs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Professor.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, Bapak Raditya. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So we have three questions from the students, but I think there are one also can be a little bit addressed also to you, Professor. Professor Ida Bagus Putra, there are two questions. One from Matthew from Universitas Indonesia, and he's the international trade law lawyer. The question was about how the state can balance investment promotion and environmental concerns. That's number one, and number two is from Miss Lisani from Hasanuddin University. Is what you have been presented, is it the problem of law, governance, or institutional matters? And then the very specific issue, can local communities become a decision maker in deciding or in addressing the challenges faced by those communities? Please, Professor.
I'll go to the first question.
Pak Matthew.
Pak Matthew, okay. How to balance, how to connect, how to balance investment and environmental concern. We cannot ask the investor to take care of environmental problems because they are mostly concerned to accumulation of profit and return. So that is their nature. So it is the position of the government to relate both of them, both of the issues by means of, in Indonesia we have a best practice by put some regulation on corporate social responsibility, for example, in the limited liability law, but still because of corporate social responsibility, sustainable development goals is arising from the transformation of the idea of capitalist who is concerned very much on profit, on return, everything there. And that is why as the big wave of critics come to the capitalists around 2000, starting in 2000, so they transform themselves into, they call themselves philanthrocapitalism. The capitalists, the good capitalists, the capitalist, the giver, capitalist sharing, capitalist, they care to the environment, or they claim themselves by the philosophy of philanthrocapitalism, they claim themselves as a good capitalist, green capitalist, social capitalist, or whatever, to show that they have concern to the environment, social or physical environment. So that's why then they contribute a lot to the idea of sustainable development, but because of this is based on the moral of capitalists, and capitalists refer to the moral of inner spirit of voluntary-based initiative, or everything starting from the heart of capitalists. So they don't wait for the comment from the government. actually, based on the idea, it based on the inner spirit, inner wish, inner expectation of the capitalist, of any institution, of any government. I see the practice in Malaysia. I've been in the islands. You have a famous island in famous island, many hotels there. So Langkawi, I've been there, and I visit some hotels over there that practice SDGs in the way based on their initiative. They call it data initiative. So showing the people that we have concern to the environment. We know if the environment got dropped in quality, our business also will get dropped in the quality. So based on this idea, the company then established a scheme of SDGs by means of put some inviting, asking for visitors, consumers' contribution to their SDGs program. And they set it in a very organized components of SDGs over there, especially the waste management system and so on. So they attract the consumer to join the program. And the consumer, when they see the facts of the works of the scheme, they don't hesitate to join the program. So they voluntarily put some like $10, $20 or more, join the fund for the waste management in the hotels, including the CSR, the CSR program decided by, adopted by the hotels. This is the best practice in Langkawi. So I do believe that SDGs program or CSR program would not depend on regulation, would not depend on law. It's much more depend on the moral spirit of the companies, of anything. So this is rely also on the basic spirit of SDGs and CSR based on the voluntary base, the moral aspect of business, of activities. I do have to answer the question. And I'll go to Ibu Lisani. Okay. Ibu Lisani, you're asking me if there's something else that cannot be governed by law. Yes. The first thing is the confusion of the Balinese culture nature. Balinese culture is, I think, the only living culture in the world. The only living culture. There is the landscape of the culture, there is the human resource of the culture, and there is the products of the culture. So they integrate in one model of living culture. And their culture are very much close to the religion or spiritual activities, which is voluntary based and cannot be measured as an economic activities. While they are, day by day, they have to maintain their culture. There is no maintenance of anything, components of economy without cost. So they have to spend a certain portion of the money to maintain their culture in the form of spiritual activities, daily spiritual activities. So no one see this cultural maintenance as an economic activities. Most of them see this is a kind of purely spiritual or religion activities. So there is a certain amount of expense and there is no return. There is no return. This has happened along since the tourism in 1954 started in Bali. 1950, tourism in Bali started in 1954 by the visiting of agency, the United Nations agency was invited by the Sukarnos at the time, and he visited Indonesia doing study on that. So that was caused by that. The second, it's caused by the way Undang-Undang Pariwisata, the law on tourism, regulate tourism. They regulate on the four components of tourism development: the industry, human resources, destination, and one more thing, okay? And without the most important component of tourism, it is the economic resources of tourism. The new act also didn't mention this component, so they missed this component. So what is the economic resource of the tourism? We have to see each of its province in Indonesia, not similar all provinces. In Bali, it is rely on Balinese culture. The economic resources of tourism in Bali is the Balinese culture. So if they don't maintain this economic resource, the development of tourism will attack the economic resources of the tourism. And if this consistently happen, the economic resource will drop, their capacity, and the tourism power to destroy this kind of resources will getting bigger and bigger. So this, perhaps in the future, Bali seriously facing a serious problems on their economic resources of tourism. So if you're asking me, what is the cause, what is the what is the basis of the situation? First, the confusion of the nature of the Balinese culture as the ground of Bali economy, as the economic resource of the Bali economy, and then secondly, it is because of the problems of the regulation, the law. So they don't mention, they don't manage the economic resources, but they manage anything related to tourism industry. If they're successful, they will successfully destroy the Balinese tourism. Of course, not in a short period, but in the long term. Okay, so there should be a concept on social capital, culture as a social capital, as an economic social capital for tourism in Bali. Now the government of Bali has tried to manage the situation, and they're producing numbers of local regulation to connect between the benefit of tourism to the traditional community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Agustus Putra. Hopefully has answered right to the questions by Bapak Matthew and Ibu Lisani. But I would like to connect this issue, because there is the question also about the local communities and decision making. I would like to ask the perspective from the Professor Dharma Putra, how about, let's say, the positions of this, let's say, we call as Desa Adat in Bali, right? Or the local communities who live in the specific village. How about their positions? Do they have a status as, let's say, decision maker from the cultural perspective? Please, Professor.
Yeah, if we ask whether a village or customary village can make a decision for their own business, all depend on the subject of decision. There is a lot of evidence that in terms of regulation, decision must be made by government. For example, if a village would like to become a tourist village, they have to get decision letters from Bupati or from the head of the district. Otherwise, they cannot get any funding and other form of support. In terms of management, of course, they can make their own decision what their village would like to be developed in. There are a number of evidence where this form of decision making can be mentioned. For example, in Penglipuran village, the village visited by almost 3,000 to 5,000 people every day, one of the successful villages. At the beginning, the village decided as a tourist village by the government, but in the daily management, all the activities, the kind of attraction decided by local people. So this is an example of CBT, community-based tourism, where the owner of the tourist attraction, the management are in the hand of the villagers or local people, and supposedly also, hopefully also, the benefit remain in the village. So whether they can make their own decision depending on what kind of decision that we mean. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dharmaputra. And now I would like to invite Professor Nur from Malaysia to address the questions from Mr. Raditya. Please, Professor.
Okay, thank you for the question. I would like to comment a bit on the public participation and about public can be decision maker. Yeah, I would like to echo the two prominent professors here. Yeah, the public could not be the decision maker, but in biosafety law, in most countries, the public has the right to participate, and they need to have awareness on biosafety, meaning if a country, Malaysia or Indonesia, would like to import some LMO or GMO from other countries, the community need to be consulted. We can give our opinion, and then based on this opinion, the government will decide whether to import or not to import this LMO. Well, I would like to address to Mr. Raditya question on this AI, whether AI can, the AI should have legal framework and policies, whether it supports the SDG. My view is that AI must have law and policy. It should not be left unregulated. But the AI, this is because the AI must be ethical, must be transparent, and must be inclusive. We need to sort of train this AI to have all these elements, and to at the same time to ensure our human rights, privacy, and the rights of the people. I give you an example. Where AI could be an important tool for SDG. For instance, AI could prevent biological outbreak. AI could detect threats or outbreak in any country. We had this coming project actually by the Russian universities. They like to develop an AI cyclone predictive model that is for ASEAN countries. So with the hope that if they detect some cyclone things going to happen in some areas in ASEAN, things could we can do preventive measures to prevent this thing from happening. So AI could do a lot of good to our SDG. And for instance, it could promote good health and could promote innovation, SDG 9. So AI must have some sort of parameters on what they can do and cannot do. With regard to this AI, to SDG, actually SDG is now becoming in Malaysia. I think the same is in Indonesia. I think the public listed, or the first board of the public listed companies, in Malaysia we have Bursa Malaysia. These companies must have SDG reports. Okay, in order for us to produce these SDG reports, we need to have expertise on what to put in the report. So actually it's kind of a consultation work, and it brings a lot of money. Let's say if you're doing safety and health report for a company, you charge, like as a consultant you can charge like 30,000 ringgit Malaysia. For the same, I think more for this SDG report, showing that that company like Petronas is like, what's your main oil company here in Indonesia? Yeah, oil company in Indonesia, the main one, Pertamina. Pertamina. Okay, so basically, Pertamina must show that they have fulfilled all the SDG requirements okay, in their reports. Okay, to produce this report, we need SDG expert. It can be from law, it can be from humanities or whatever background. So SDG is not like a talk thing only, it is something that is generating money. If you're interested, I think you could add extra knowledge, and even in UKM, I think that there's one potential candidate who's going to do PhD in SDG. Yeah, so I think SDG is not like, yeah, it is still a talk, but you know, if you're an expert in it, you can make a lot of money out of that. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Yeah. So we have received 3 questions from the participants, and all the invited speakers responded all questions. And now we almost reached the end of these sessions, and I would like to invite the 3 speakers to deliver closing statement, maximum 1 minute. I would like to invite first from Professor Inyomandarma Putra, PhD, please.
Yeah, I probably take less than 1 minute. I would like to appreciate the initiative from the committee to take the theme on ultimate SDGs 2026, because we consider this is very important given the fact that the time to get to 2030 agenda is very short, but the common and together effort will make something different. And from the discussion today, we heard that the global initiatives and like SDGs and local wisdom like Trihita Karana don't need to be pitted against each other because they share the same goal. Both can be seen as complementing each other to achieve the same goals, which is we need a fair, happiness, and sustainable life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, professors. Please give big applause to him. And then I would like to invite Professor Ida Bagus Wiasa Putra for 1 minute closing statement, please, Professor.
Thank you. Instead of producing growth and benefit, development has also produced inequalities. And the actual form inequalities in the living of tourism in Bali is the discorrelation between the traditional community, the owner of the Balinese culture, the economic resource of the tourism of Bali with the benefit of tourism. So the intervention by the government is necessarily needed to connect between the owner of the Balinese culture, the economic resource of the tourism in Bali with the benefit of tourism. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, Klaus, Professor Bakti Putra. And now I would like to invite 1 minute closing statement from Professor Nur Zuhaida Osman, please.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you to the organizing committee for inviting me. So basically, I would sum up that I would like to encourage you, in whatever areas of law that you are interested, whether it's public health law, biosecurity law, trade law, generally any international law, especially for us Malaysian, Indonesian, Singaporean, Timor-Leste, Thailand, or other countries, 11 ASEAN countries, for us to have good knowledge of it, be an expert present your papers wherever, so, or write in newspapers. So basically, I got the chance to attend this UN course on international law. So from that, I learned that the Western countries like US, UK, they have a lot of international law lawyers, like 200 or 300 lawyers at a session. But from the ASEAN region, we have not much international law expert. So I would say, if you have interest in international law, is for you to get a good knowledge of these areas of international law, and then when you have the chance to represent your country at the UN, is for you to speak up. Do not just follow the Western ideas, UK or US, but we must follow our ASEAN views, our local cultures, Balinese or whatever regions that we are living, show what are our stand, not just follow blindly, but we must, about our national law. Don't just follow the international law blindly, either in biosecurity law or trade law. They will convince you it's good for your country, but it's for you to do a research and make your own stand. What is good or not good for your country? I wish you all the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. You too, we wish the best for your future. Thank you. So everyone, this is the end of the session. So thank you very much for the initiator of this beautiful conference, Professor Agustus Parikesit, ya, Ibu Vice Dean, Dr. Kristi Agoyu Mas Ruajantiari. So to all invited speakers here and all participants, in particular the three participants who delivered the question. So thank you very much for your attentions. I hope we still enjoy the upcoming sessions of this conference. We will heard the presentation from presenters from various countries. So thank you very much. Time to the committee. Thank you.
That was such an insightful session. Once again, let's give another round of applause to our amazing speaker.
I'm sure everyone has gained new perspective and valuable ideas to take home from today's talk. As a token of our sincere appreciation, we would now like to present a certificate of appreciation to our moderator and distinguished speakers. May we kindly invite the committee members assigned to the certificate presentation to come forward. I'll continue the group photo on the count of 1, 2, 3. Once more, 3, 2, 1. Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you to the speaker and the moderator. You may now have a seat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the talk show session. Now we will have a break for lunch. Participants who are scheduled to present on day 1 are kindly requested to remain at the venue, as the event will resume at 1 p.m. with a parallel presentation sessions. Kindly ensure that you return on time and proceed directly to your assigned presentation room.
For participants who are scheduled to present on day 2, your agenda for today has now concluded. On behalf of the organizing committee, we sincerely thank you for your attendance and participation in today's opening ceremony and talk show session. We look forward to welcoming you back tomorrow for your presentation session. We wish you a pleasant day and a safe journey home. Thank you. And now, attention please. It is now time for a group photo session with all of the participants as well as the invited speaker. And for the committee members, please take the time.